with the players, but it starts with the team that puts together the team in the offseason, and that task is now in the hands of the new general manager, Ruben Amaro Jr. Let's welcome in Ruben. Does it sound funny to you to still hear that? I mean, you know, you're the GM. You're the GM of the Phillies. It's kind of cool.
It's a little different. There's no question about that, but obviously a dream come true for me, and hopefully I can do what's necessary to make these fans happy.
You've gone from son of a major leaguer to bat boy to player to assistant GM to GM. Did you ever plan on being in this position at any time during your career before they came to you about the assistant GM job?
You know, I guess the time that I started really thinking about being in the front office was close to my end of my playing career in '98 when I was still on the club, and actually during that spring I went to Ed Wade and talked to him about you know, the possibility of continuing in this organization in some capacity. Frankly, I thought I'd be on the field or coaching or managing in the minor leagues or something like scouting perhaps, but he actually had the faith in me to give me the opportunity to be his assistant, and you know, things kind of snowballed from there. I got an opportunity to work with Ed, who's a good friend and a great mentor for several years, and then obviously with Pat, having to fill his shoes is no simple task by any means. One of the best modern day GMs of all time.
What will you take from each of those men that you will use as GM?
Well, I think they all had, both of them had tremendous positive qualities. And one of the things that Ed did, you know, he forced our organization to take a new look at what player development and how important player development and scouting is. And in fact, when he first came on in his capacity, I mean, he had to fire and do a variety of things for our organization to put it in the right direction again. And I admired that difficult task. And really, if you look at the bulk and the core of the players that are here and winning that championship last year, you know, there are a lot of them are, and most of them are Ed Wade products. And so, on top of that, I've learned a lot of things from Pat Gillick, and you know, one of the things is being as resourceful as possible and learning that there's no panic. If things don't go quite right, if we have injuries, not to panic and just try to, you know, go full steam ahead and keep steady and try to be innovative and try to do things that typically may not be the sexiest thing to do or the most highly touted thing to do, but what's best for the club, and that's what I've learned from Pat.
And Pat has proven that he's a winner, and you got to watch him go down. I mean, obviously the parade was exciting for you as well as it was for him, but were you glad to see him be able to reach this peak again? I mean, does it sort of just rub off on everybody when you're around somebody that's a winner like that?
There's no question about it. I mean, he's obviously won several championships now, and it's the last GM to do it back-to-back, so or one of them. So he's you know, he knows what it takes to win. He understands you know, that element, and you know, for him to bring in the Jason Worths and for us to bring the J.C. Romero's, the pieces, you know, Matt Stairs, those smaller pieces that really made an impact on our club and help us kind of get over the hump. You know, that's a good learning experience for me, and hopefully I'll make similar decisions if I get the chance to.
Of course, one of the biggest losses for the Phillies fans and for the Phillies was the loss of Pat Burrell. Became a free agent, has signed in Tampa Bay, ironically. And you bring in a Raul Ibanez. You know, Pat signed for less in Tampa Bay than you signed Raul Ibanez for here in Philadelphia. Why not bring Pat back? I mean, financially, it looks like it would have been a better deal for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Pat had a tremendous career here, as Charlie's mentioned, and I have a lot of respect for Pat and what the things, the ups and downs that he went through, and from when Pat started in our organization to the culminating in a world championship, a lot of credit to him because he stayed with it and was a fine producer for us, and I view him as a great friend, and. But we felt like we needed to make some change, and one of our biggest fears was to go into the offseason and into 2009 with the same club, and it was important I thought, to bring someone of Raul Ibanez's ilk, who we think is going to be even a better run producer, frankly, with no disrespect to Pat, because he's had some fine years here as of late, but Raul's a fine player. He's a great makeup guy, and you know, we feel like he's gonna help us continue the trend of winning.
Let's look around at the rest of the team. One of the things that stands out to me is you've got really 3 catchers going into spring training that, you know, could be part of this club. How do you sort through something like that?
Well, fortunately for us, I mean, each one of these catchers, I mean, this is Carlos Ruiz's job. I mean, he's the #1 catcher for us, and he'll be going into the season with it basically his job to lose, and we have a lot of confidence in Chooch. But we put ourselves in a position to create some competition with Coast and Paulino. Chris has done a fine job for us as a backup, but you can never have enough depth. Fortunately for us, each one of these particular guys has options left, so if it gets to that point and we have to move one down or we have to move one, we have some flexibility with them. So we also have a young kid in Lou Marson who's kind of knocking on the door to the big leagues. We don't know if he's quite ready to be a big league player yet. We think he has a chance to be a #1 at some point in his career, but we've gone over the years from you know, catching was kind of a weakness for us, and we've gone what we feel is from weakness to a strength now.
And the bullpen was a huge reason why you guys won last year. The lowest bullpen ERA since the 70s. You're going to be without J.C. Romero for the first 50 games of the season. How do you replace him, and how has the bullpen come together in the offseason?
Well, I think, you know, obviously it was a bullpen that really kept us together all year in and year out, or throughout the season. But I think that you know, and it will be a pretty large blow to not have JC for the first 50 games. But you know, there's no panic here. I mean, Charlie doesn't panic, Rich Dubey doesn't panic, we don't panic. It's we've lost Chase Utley at times, we've lost Jimmy Rollins, we've lost Ryan Howard, and you know, we have guys who kind of step it up, and we feel like we have the people internally to be able to do that. We're going to have a great competition with our with several pitchers for the 5th spot in our rotation. We've got Chan-Ho Park's going to get a chance, J.A. Happ. We'll have Carlos Carrasco and Kyle Kendrick, and possibly Adam Eaton as well. So if one of those guys do not make the rotation, we may slide one of those guys back into our bullpen, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that a guy like J.A. Happ or Chan-Ho or even Kyle Kendrick can help out and hopefully pick up for where we were having lost J.C.
I can almost hear the wheels turning in everybody's head out there, like, well, I'd make this move and I'd do this, because everybody is a great general manager when they're outside of it, and I'm betting Tom McCarthy has found a couple of them in the audience. Tom?
Well, I think that this is a budding general manager, Leslie, that I'm sitting here talking to. This is DJ from Havertown, and he has our first question for Ruben Amaro. DJ, take it away, buddy.
What did you learn from Pat Gillick?
Well, I learned to try to be a good listener. I like to hear myself talk a lot, so that's the toughest thing for me to do. But that's probably one of his greatest assets, is he hires people and he believes in them, and he's a great listener. Thanks for the question, DJ.
All right, Leslie, our next question over here comes from Lon. Lon has one for Ruben. Lon, take it away.
Yeah, I first want to say congratulations on your promotion. And Leslie kind of took my question. I was going to ask about the 5th starter. But I guess, are you going to maybe go out and look for another 5th starter if this doesn't work out?
No, we feel pretty comfortable with the people that we have in place. J.A. Happ pitched some huge games for us. Although he's not a seasoned veteran by any stretch of the imagination, I think that in spring training, there's nothing like competition. It breeds success, and for us to have a situation where we have 4, maybe 5, perhaps 6 guys vying for that 5th spot, that's a good situation to be in. You can never have enough pitching, and we feel confident that we'll get one of those guys to step up and do the job.
All right. Ruben, thank you very much. Ruben Amaro Jr., everyone.